Shall we call the meeting to order? I got 9:04. Same thing. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? I've got 2 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We ready to call them in?
All set? You want me to do?
Yeah.
It's just a lively bunch this morning.
Yeah, it's quiet in here.
It's quiet.
That's
How
because
about
it's
them
cold.
hats?
It's cold outside.
Yeah, see, but we did it.
First play had me a little scared, but
Conference ID, followed by
funny
pound.
decision to read about his history now. But that's more in the news.
Stuck on low guy.
So Tom Brady told us so.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your patience.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, everybody. Yeah.
We're out. Still digging,
We're
but
digging.
we're out, yeah.
I was surprised this morning at the intersections trying to see if there's a car coming from the other direction.
You know, I don't really, even if it's a skim coat, I'm done. I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, I left the office yesterday and there was a little snow. I couldn't
Funny
believe it.
today.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was out last night. It
Yeah.
was not pretty.
What? It's more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, this is, Lucas and I were just saying that, you know, we remember, and I'm sure you do, that this was not common. We used to get a couple of these types of storms with this, you know, 12 to 18 inches plus in the past. But it's been a number of years since we had that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I didn't miss it. Not at all.
No.
Got some nice pictures though. It is pretty.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
As long as you don't have to go anywhere.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was like fluffy snow. That did
Yes.
help, even though it was a lot.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any power outages. Everybody was good with power. No issues there.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Mr. Wilbur. All right, well, we have Lucas is on. Is everyone at the committee? I'll wait for you to...
Can you,
Yeah.
just before we get going, I actually, this wasn't even plugged in. Can you hear us okay? I don't know where the volume's,
Turn it up.
yeah.
Oh,
Can you
yeah,
hear us
no, I
okay?
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
great.
Okay, Bob, Lucas, we're all here. We've all got
Great.
our papers, and so we're ready to hear what you have to say about how things went the last quarter.
All right. Perfect. So, great. We'll just...
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Lucas.
Morning.
Yeah, I know we'll talk about the quarter, but maybe just a quick reflection on the year. You know, we've obviously been meeting quarterly, and at the start of last year, we were uncertain of what the markets would do because of valuations, and you know, there was a lot of spending on AI, and you know, and more so valuations, and of course, you know, we knew there was uncertainties surrounding the new administration coming in, so we were a bit cautious at the beginning of the year. That was mostly reflected in our fixed income portfolio, and I can go through the numbers later. But what we try to do is, you know, take up risk with the equity portion. We were around target weight for much of the year on the equity side, but more defensive less interest rate risk and more high quality in the bond portfolio. For the quarter, the markets just tend to go up. I mean, I think many of the equity strategists at the beginning of last year came up with their forecast for what the equity markets would do. And for the third year in a row, it exceeded everyone's expectations, but these strategists got to update their forecast. So by the third quarter, they updated them to be correct. But at the start of the year, much of Wall Street was expecting gains, but only modest gains from the S&P 500, and I think we ended the year up 17%. Contrasting with the international market, you may recall we, going into the year, remained underweight. Over the last 15 years, the S&P 500 has been the best performing. I guess gold now overtook it, but it's been a stable equity market, and it's been the place to be for a whole host of reasons. And last year, we saw both international and emerging markets outperform the U.S. markets. They were cheaper entering the year. Growth was somewhat stagnant, so we've seen a lot of growth internationally. So we didn't we didn't have a significant position in foreign markets. Profit growth began to pick up in overseas, as well as the dollar declining, and that helped push up some of these national markets. And by the end of the year, we became neutral on the developed markets and only slightly underweight on the emerging markets. But that was a change that we
I
made.
didn't hear him. What did he say?
Can you back up
Can
a
you
bit?
back up a bit? Sorry, you're kind of cutting out a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's
It's
a little
weird.
foggy.
It's a little bumpy. Yeah, thanks, Brian. So could you just go back to what your thoughts were on the international markets, please?
So we entered the year underweight, and that was largely due to just much less growth in earnings coming out of the foreign market. We began to see earnings growth at high levels in the past, and that's what led us to become neutral throughout the year on the markets and emerging markets, and that's reflected in the current allocation. How am I sounding?
Choppy.
It's really choppy.
Yeah, it's a little, you're digitizing every now and then, getting a little sparky.
Yeah. Do you want to? The only thing I can think of is hang up and try again.
I could try myself. I don't.
Yeah.
This doesn't get used too often. I could try
Yeah.
myself. I don't.
Let's try this again, and then
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
see. All right.
All right.
Sorry. Thank you.
Bob's clear.
All right.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go back in a sec.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we'll do it again.
Thank you.
That's weird, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to hear him, and
That
you
was
miss
fine.
that pertinent
Yeah.
word, and you
Yeah.
don't really know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the weather.
Hmm?
Could be the weather.
Could be.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center.
It's even choppy.
Please
now.
enter conference ID followed by pound.
All the history of
Yeah.
that, they were so
Yeah.
not many times that happens.
Yeah.
And then
Screwy.
he jumped. Right?
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Please enter a conference ID and then press pound.
I'm like, sorry, you already used that once.
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
oh.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now.
User error. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It still sounded choppy, even logging in. I don't know.
You're now joining the
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
I think it's your
Probably our
speaker.
thing.
Yeah.
Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. You're now joining the meeting.
Okay, I'm trying a different microphone.
Okay.
Okay, maybe that'll work. I thought you were clear, but yeah, that certainly was choppy. you know,
I think
for
it's
them.
on speaker.
Yeah,
We think
Yeah,
this
I
might
was
be us.
not-
yeah. I think it's on our end. Because even when I was
Okay, yeah.
dialing into the call, just dialing in, and it was sounding a little like it then.
We'll try on the cell.
Yeah.
So better now? We're
No.
Not really, no.
No.
I'm sorry to keep. I think I'm going to try it on my cell and put it on speaker if you don't mind. We're going to go for a third time.
Three's a charm.
okay. I think I'll stay on,
Okay.
and then you guys come.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
That's really weird, though. We've never
Yeah.
had trouble with it before.
No.
Our little
No, I
spaceship
remember
is
those
getting
kind of
old.
speakers from 25 years ago.
That's
so-
probably 25 years old.
Exactly.
old.
That's what I'm
That's true.
thinking.
You know how Apple stops working its phones?
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by...
I'm sorry, that has been used too many
I'm
times.
waiting to hear that.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining the meeting. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your... You are now joining the meeting. Get in there.
Hello?
Is that up for a while?
Yeah, can you take it?
Yeah. Yes. It's better. It's just not very loud. It's better. It's just not very loud. We're now on cell phone.
Speaker on your iPhone, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you want to give it a shot?
How about my connection? Am I coming through okay?
I think so. I don't
Yeah,
have
I
any
can
issues.
hear you. It's not sparky, low volume, but it's better than.
I don't have a phone. There's no phone in here.
There's no, we don't have little amplifier.
Better than choppy.
Yeah,
Yes.
No,
at
what's
least
the-
we
okay.
can understand. We can't hear you, but we can.
Okay. So
Happy
that's
2026.
good. Yeah.
All right, let's give this a go, though.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, so I think we sort of come on the discussion of international versus U.S. equities, and I talked about how they outperform in part due to dollar weakening, but also because they outperformed in non-currency terms as well. And I think that was largely just a shift from investors moving money into international markets. And I think we believe it was due to an actual uptick in the earnings growth for overseas markets. So we're seeing some growth. Many of the central banks have begun to ease, and that's provided tailwinds to the international markets. We started the year underweight international and emerging markets. We added to both of those positions throughout the year as we became neutral, and entering 2026, we're right around target. We're a little overweight in international developed and slightly underweight in emerging, but our total allocation is at the benchmark for international. So I'll start walking through the presentation. Are there any questions on?
Yeah, Lucas, on the max range on international, are you thinking of dipping a little bit deeper into it with the toe or not? Just curious.
Right now we're neutral, and I think what we'll do is we'll let that ride. It's possible we add to emerging markets to bring that up to neutral. But at this point we're still more optimistic about the developed markets.
Lucas, I have one. This is Elaine. I have a question too that might take a little research. Just could you remind us when you added to international last year? I'd have to go back through the prior statements, I believe, to find that. It's something you could come back to us on if it's not handy.
Let me see if I can find it.
Second quarter.
I think it was, but I can't remember. I'm just curious.
In the second quarter?
I'm trying, yeah,
Yeah,
was
so-
it second quarter?
I think so.
You'd have to go
too.
back to the quarterly statements,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So. You can come back to us on that if you'd like.
Okay, I'll multitask for a moment here. So I'm going to turn to, well, actually, so just a quick little on our outlook. Entering this year, we're actually more optimistic than we were last year. We think a lot of the uncertainty surrounding tariffs and the direction of inflation have subsided, and we're expecting GDP growth to be very strong. I think we have an administration in office that wants to run this economy very hot. We don't know what that means for the dollar, but the dollar did react to some of the comments by the president most recently, where he said doesn't care if the dollar weakens. So we've already seen some outperformance from the international markets this year. But again, our outlook remains upbeat. Valuations have gotten a little richer, but earnings growth still remains very strong in the U.S. So the forward-looking PE is about where it was at the start of last year. So no more richly valued than it was last year, and we think some of the uncertainty is now swept away. Obviously, that can change, and I think what I'm providing right now would be more of a 6-month window that we feel that the next 6 months we're very positive on the markets. Beyond that, we have midterm elections and some other factors that could change things. But for now, our outlook remains very positive. So now I'll turn to the performance report. Just starting with page 2. Some of these pages should be familiar. The ending balance of the portfolio, $26,696,755. So far this year, we're already up 2% through yesterday, and the portfolio value is $27,363,043. Page 3, one of the newer pages, you can see that our equity allocation has drifted slightly above the 60% target. Not significant, so I don't feel the need to rebalance, particularly given our sort of 6-month outlook on global equity markets. As I mentioned before, look through the international markets. We've drifted above in developed markets, and we're approaching the target allocation for emerging markets. But remember, the target allocation is a total 6%. Much of the benchmark is geared towards U.S. equities. On the fixed income side, we remain underweight, largely due to the fact that we think we can get 5 to 6% out of our alternatives bucket, and we've been able to do that fairly consistently over the years. So it's a nice way to diversify the portfolio. Many of these managers have very low correlations to the stock and bond markets, and that gives us a balance in the portfolio if we had a repeat of 2022, which we don't expect, but if you recall, bonds fell and stocks fell throughout the year in 2022. Page 4, this is looking at our allocation. marketed against the S&P 500, so they can own value stocks. So it's not a pure play growth manager, and we like to give this manager pulled in off the Fidelity Conscious Fund, flexibility to make those decisions within his allocations. Interestingly, after, I don't know, he's been there 40 years, 30 plus years, at the end of this year, that he's going to be retiring from Fidelity, and they've named 2 co-portfolio managers to take over the fund. So that's something we're going to be discussing throughout the year, whether or not this one man had the secret sauce, or if it could be, the torch can be carried by others. But for the time being, we still have confidence in the consequence. Page 5, we begin the valuations, so you can see the allocations within various categories: large cap, small cap, REITs. So I'm not sure if there are any questions about the current sub-asset class allocations, which are on page 5 and 6. I'm happy to answer any if anyone has any questions or concerns. So now I'd like to just look at page 7. This is somewhat of this is essentially the scorecard. The 1-year numbers and the 3-month numbers up the top, the total portfolio, are in bold. The benchmark is below it in italic. And you see that we had some slight underperformance in the quarter and underperformance for the year. I like to think, well, we may have lost the battle, and I think this is largely due to a little bit to do with not having international, but more so to do with our fixed income performance. You see that down towards the bottom, we were 5.66% versus 7.3%, so there's some lagging there. And also, if you look at REITs, 1.14% for the year. We own a REIT index fund, and it's primarily allocated to data centers and cell towers. The index itself has changed. It used to be commercial real estate and office buildings were the big holders. So, we like the allocation. We thought it was the right allocation, but those companies didn't perform well last year despite interest rates falling. So again, it's a modest allocation, but it was a drag on performance. We've talked about our small cap equity manager. This is a dimensional fund, and it's almost an index fund. It's very low fee, and they use quantitative models to try to identify more profitable companies. It tended to have very much of a value tilt to it. And last year, because of some of the growth in technology, a lot of companies without profits in the small cap space performed very strongly as people were looking for the next NVIDIA or the next big thing to emerge in the small cap universe. So if this was an active manager, we might put them on watch, but this was an active decision by our portfolio management team to say, hey, look, we want to try to avoid some of these zombie companies without profits in the small cap world. And unfortunately, last year, that wasn't where the outperformance occurred, where the good performance occurred. And small cap has continued to lag. But we've seen a lot of, into this year, we've seen a lot more breadth in markets, values outperforming growth, small caps outperforming and large cap. And, we're seeing, our current allocation is benefiting from the breadth because we have such a diverse asset allocation. We're not only concentrating the S&P 500, which, as we all know, 7 companies represent over 30% of that index. So we're diversified away from that, and I think, right now the markets are beginning to reward companies that have more attractive valuations. And as I said, we have a slight tilt towards value in the portfolio, and that's benefited us this year. So I'll stop there. Are any questions on this performance?
Hey Lucas, it's Elaine. Yeah, I have a question. Could you go back to, you thought that the fixed income underperformance was more detrimental in the year, and just could you explain where that underperformance came from for the group, please? So we understand.
Yes. So we allocated at the start of the year. We were very short duration. So if you look at our fixed income numbers going back, let's say 3 years and 5 years, it was an area of alpha, and the reason we outperformed on a 3-year and a 5-year basis fairly significantly in fixed income is because we had a shorter duration and higher quality bonds in the benchmark. Last year, interest rates fell, and Barclays aggregate, which is our benchmark, returned 7.3%, well above the yield. So there was some capital appreciation because interest rates fell. When interest rates fall, bond prices go up. And we didn't participate in that. We were mostly just clipping coupons and didn't have as much capital appreciation in our fixed income portfolio as the benchmark.
Thank you.
And then the following pages, we get to 9 and 10, just the decomposition of returns. So you can see the contribution to the total portfolio return.
What are you going to do with the cash? Any thoughts?
I think we'd like that. I'm waiting for consensus, but I'd like to add back to that emerging market position. Again, the target's 2%. And the cash itself, I just got a note from the manager. It is yielding 3.55%. So it's nice to have a little bit of dry powder. Several years ago, we were earning close to 0 on cash. But 3.55%, we can probably get a higher yield elsewhere. So I can see us adding to emerging markets on the equity side, and potentially bringing back high yield bonds, given our current outlook for the equity markets. The emerging high yield bonds tend to perform well when the equity markets are performing well. So I can see those as potential homes for cash.
So is it possible to run this page 9 and 10 from a year-to-date perspective?
Yes.
So that probably would answer my question about international. It would be interesting to just see the entire year. Could you send that to us?
I think we used to do that, and Ed preferred to do it before. But we can change the time frame so you can see the flows. That gives you a sense of at least dollars going into various managers. Doesn't give you time.
So, I have the trade dates in front of me now. So,
yeah, I do too.
So on May 9th, I added to
to the MF emerging market, is 600,000 to MFS International, and then 500,000 to the and and we also did 185,000 at the end of February in the MFS International. The total developed was about 800,000, 400,000 emerging in 2025.
That 500, what did you say? Because you cut out there. Where did the 500,000 go?
Yeah, it's let's say 800,000 in international developed, 2 purchases, 1 in May, 1 in February, and then we added 400,000 to the emerging markets in May, and that would got us pretty close, like to international.
And you mentioned something about small cap too?
Yeah, small the dimensional that Lucas mentioned, 500,000 was bought on May 9th.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So back to that report, if I could, if you could send the entire year to the group or to Brian and he can distribute it, that would be very helpful. And then we can decide whether it's something we want to see on a what term going forward.
Yeah, like a year to date, like that's what.
For the 2025, yeah. So the asset detail performance analysis, so pages 9 and 10 of the current report, run for the entire year of 2025, not just the fourth quarter.
Yeah, for this time going forward, it would be year to date.
That's correct.
So when we do June, it would be 6 months. That okay. Yeah.
Well, no, don't just
Okay, absolutely.
hang on. Let's don't. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. No, we haven't made a decision yet what it will be going forward. We just like to see what it looks like on a year-to-date basis, and we'll start with the entire year 2025.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. We will do that. We'll ask Chris, you, Carol, and tell the choice. I'll pass it off to Brian. You can share the group.
Perfect, thank you.
You got it? Any other questions?
What do you guys think about energy? What's your prognosis for energy this year, Lucas?
Obviously, the commodity prices are difficult to predict, and we've seen a lot of volatility in natural gas prices, which is normal. I don't think, if you've read about Venezuela, it's impossible for there to be new oil put online. So I don't think that has an impact on global supply. I could see prices going up, though, just given that they are so low right now. But it may take some disruption in the Middle East for that to happen. So we don't have a specific, let's say, dedicated allocation to energy. It's certainly a component of the S&P 500 index fund, and also some of our other managers own some of the energy companies, particularly the equity income fund. But because we've chosen managers, they're making the decision on that allocation. But if I had to express a view, I would say that oil prices are likely to go up from here.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
So I just want to make small comment. Thank you for sending along your quarterly piece. I thought, it was very well done. You are using charts that I find very helpful and have for a long time. So on page 6 6, where you say it's number 4 international markets, and you put in the, I believe it's a fact set or JP Morgan chart. I can't remember who produces this. Morningstar Direct now. Okay. I understand your comments how international has only performed for the second time in 15 years. And when I look at this chart, all it screams to me is diversification, as you've been doing, and could hopefully increase your international allocation a little bit, because you just never know what's going to be at the top of the charts. Look, so.
Yes, yeah. I agree with that statement, and as an asset allocator, I very much hope for diversified returns and for this chart to vary, because we're positioned in all these asset classes. I'll give a small allocation international, but we are in it. We're much more neutral than we have been. I've been working with you for 5 years, and then prior to that, I guess I can't comment on, but I know Ed has always been very focused on the U.S. and the growth market, and we are seeing a change of leadership there. And this time it may persist, like I said, because we're getting bigger growth in earnings than we have in the past. The foreign markets have stagnated for a decade. That comment around the U.S. being the cleanest dirty shirt. The U.S. is still the most business-friendly, least regulated market in the world. It's not perfect, but Europe, the European Union in particular, there's some policy challenges that they need to overcome, but it seems like they're making some progress.
So Lucas, you guys have done a good job with the portfolio, and I agree with you about the earnings growth. And let's all remember that the rest of the world is waking up and making their own trade agreements. So it'll take some time, but that may fuel earnings growth also.
Correct. Yeah, but to your point, it will take time. There was a big announcement, obviously, between the European Union and India. Both economies are likely to benefit, and it's just a matter of what the final details are and how long it takes for things to get online. But one of the things I think we were somewhat worried last year about foreign markets because of the actions of the U.S. and the tariffs. There was talk of the tariffs creating a recession in many of these economies. That didn't come to fruition. Those markets showed some resilience. I think that's just a very positive sign going forward.
Lucas, this is Bill talking, who doesn't say much, but
That's why you don't recognize his voice.
but the Fed is ending their meeting today. What do you expect to happen after today?
We still think there'll be 2 more cuts. Remember that Chair Powell is leaving the job in May. As chairman, he may stay on longer, and Trump's looking for a yes man.
I think he's used them all.
So, I still think cuts could be in order. I don't know if I shared with you the analysis I've done on inflation, but when we didn't have a lot of data from the government, we began decomposing the components of the CPI measures, and as many people know, a large portion of that is shelter. And what we've seen on the national level is that rents have come down and housing prices they've grown in nominal terms but have not kept up with inflation over the past 12 months. And that data is somewhat delayed when it gets into CPI. So, we think that some of the inflation figures or the inflation numbers could come down, which would make it a lot easier for the Fed to reduce rates. The employment market is facing modest headwinds. I mean, the inflation rate did go up, albeit it's still well below long-term average. But if the Fed doesn't have to worry so much about inflation, they may try to seek, full employment, and be very reactive if there are layoffs or the unemployment rate rises, which it very well could.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Good.
All right, guys, I think that's it. There are no more questions here unless you have something else you think
Just next meeting.
we ought to know.
Yeah, we were at the next meeting, and we just got confirmation that they're going to run that calendar year report.
Awesome. Thank you.
What did he say?
They're gonna run that calendar year, the year
Calendar year report. So are we looking at April 22nd or 29th, guys?
I can't do the 29th.
Early May?
The 22nd works for me, but if that's too early, we can push it to May.
I can do the 22nd.
We're all set with reports, Bob, for the 22nd?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no getting off. We usually need 10 days. Should have everything around the 10.
Okay, so we'll,
Yeah, we'll be good.
22nd, guys?
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
It's
22nd at 9 o'clock.
Earth Day, all day,
Earth Day.
Oh, it's Earth Day, okay.
and Admin Professionals Day.
Okay.
You got them all, huh? Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah,
wanna
why
miss
is
a
it? My
trip.
calendar.
Ice cream day.
Yes. It's not me, it's my phone.
All right, guys, we'll see you in April.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye now.
Trustees, and what
Okay,
did
April
we say,
22nd at
April
9 a.m.
22nd?
April 22nd. I better write that down.
Trustees, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock in the morning. You retirees, that means you gotta get up early.
I set an alarm today.
Don't tell me that, please. I have to set an alarm every day.
Yeah, I did not want to get out from under the quilt this
Baby, I need to
morning.
borrow a
Can I
walker.
get the-
Yeah. Okay, so not a great quarter or a great year. What do you think?
They're doing a good job. I think their distaste of international and their duration in the bond market is hurting them.
Yeah.
Hurt them last year.
Yeah. But to be
Yeah,
fair,
is that
yes.
a holdover from Ed, or is this Lucas making changes? What do you think?
I believe, and I could be wrong, that there's a broader investment policy committee there
Yeah,
that Lucas is part of, and they're the ones who are driving the policy that then gets implemented in the portfolio. So I would assume Ed is on that committee still, but I don't know.
Also, I think, to be fair, it was a messed up year.
It was a hard year.
I mean, it was like you might as well just get a Ouija board to figure out what's going to happen in the market. So, I mean, you can't, I don't think anybody could really be held accountable for last year's performance. And I mean, they didn't do bad.
Nope, they're up.
you know, I'm a fan.
14%. Yeah.
Yeah.
You two have much deeper knowledge of this than I. That's why I'm interested in
You know,
what
they
you
have
to say.
examined why they underperformed, which I
Yeah.
give them a lot of credit for.
They're candid.
You know, they are very well, and they want to know too, which is what you want in your manager.
Yeah.
You know, so
I do feel like they were chasing yield in the bond market
Yes.
because the short bonds. Because,
Bonds have always been a problem in this.
well, but with the inverted yield curve, the shorts were paying, the longs weren't. And, you know, we've been holding their feet to the fire for performance.
Yeah.
So I think they went after the shorts and ignored the
guaranteed.
long
Yeah.
to get that rate. International, I know we were hawking them the year before because they were killing us in international. So they pulled out, and they're buying and selling at the wrong time, essentially, and missed the curve. But I think it's a combination of trying to appease us because we're kind of a loud group, in some respects. And what all analysts do is, try to put numbers up, and sometimes you just put the pin in the wrong place.
So I agree with Leslie. She also reminded me this morning that, we have a large chunk in large cap stocks, equities, U.S. equities, and they have a lot of international exposure too, and that has been one of our reasons for allowing a lower international direct exposure in the portfolio. So they're aware of it, and that's the only thing you can ask at this point. And
And with our large international, our large U.S. covering a piece of international, because Nike doesn't just sell sneakers here, we were getting the benefit for last year without the exposure of when international was poor. Now we're bitching because international's killing it, and we're like, wow, So you can't double speak.
You can't. It goes back to diversification. You got to have a piece everywhere because you never know when it's going to add alpha to your portfolio.
And you got to stay the line even when it hurts.
Right.
But with us, because we tend to be more conservative, because we are responsible for the town, we have to err on the side of caution. So our international exposures have been dialed back because they are at risk. They happen to be good right now, and so we're crying over yesterday's spilt milk. But in the long run, with the combination of what they have and what we're gleaning from that large cap, I think we're as exposed as we really should be as a committee. Would I do differently with my own money? Of course. Of course.
I think I predict it'll go up by next quarter.
Yeah, I think so too. And they're coming back into it. They're not oblivious. You know what I mean? It's not like they're incompetent. They're competent.
That's all you can expect.
They're doing a good job, and this is just a weird time to be
I'm
alive.
going to go back to that because if you look at the chart in the newsletter with the yield curve, the bond interest rates over the last 3 years, and you had an inverted yield curve in 2023 and you didn't see a recession, which is historically a very low rate of that. Normally an inverted yield curve signals we're going to get a recession, and then you get the current yield curve, and it happened pretty quickly too. So they I'm not surprised they underperformed because they did want those high yields. Everybody was worried last year, right? What's going to happen? And they wanted to lock in that high income stream in a shorter term, fixed income.
Everybody's still worried.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I think
what
we're
you
good.
just said.
I think we're good.
Good. I mean, I like them. I think since inception, they've really
Well, it's
pretty
taken so long
consistently.
to train them. You don't want to get someone new and have to start over again because it's 5 years of just communication, mishaps, and it's two different speaks. So they get us finally, which I think is why Ed's out and Lucas is in, because Ed was sensitive and
I think Ed's retiring too.
Well, maybe. I just think you pushed him out, Lane.
So why are we managing $26 million? For what purpose? Taking out the guild.
Why are we managing?
Why are we managing it? For what purpose?
Well,
The funds
committee,
have been
the school funds, yeah.
Been
For 2 scholarships.
well, it's not just
No,
for
it's the
scholarships.
No, it's the guild.
There's so much more. Except beside the guild.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I didn't
separate.
hear
Take
that.
that one off the table.
Well, and then funds get transferred to the general fund for Stepping Stone. That's programs run. I don't know where that Stepping Stone is. I don't.
What, right behind the guild?
Is that okay?
Yeah,
so
it's
I know,
literally behind the
yeah,
guild.
so I know funds are transferred annually for that. Funds are. It's. I'm trying to remember what else we take out.
There were
Stepping Stone?
2 scholarships, like one for
Stepping Stone,
$1,000,
two
one for
scholarships.
$250.
Yeah.
But didn't we raise that last time?
Really?
No.
We
No,
didn't raise
no,
it?
no.
I thought we were going to.
I mean, I don't know,
about
it's
it,
up to us to raise it. I mean, it's up to us
Oh,
to
it's-
tell the people how much is
Yeah,
available
yeah.
to.
That's, but
Yeah.
the tricky thing is that's the scholarships come from really the small, even though there's 26 million in it, I think the
The little ones are
those
piddly
the
that
little
give
ones,
scholarships,
yes,
yeah.
it's,
Right.
it's unfortunate, but that's.
So
Yeah.
what is your point of the question though? So what do you,
I mean, what's the point? If we don't look at these funds, these trusts that are closed, then what's the point?
Well, there's
I
only
mean,
one that's closed, the Wakefield one, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
No, there's more than one. There was two before Wakefield.
Wakefield and, I mean, I guess technically speaking, that depreciation one doesn't have doesn't serve, it,
The small depreciation
yeah.
one, okay.
It seems like
that's-
the $6 million could be used for something more productive than $1,500 in scholarships.
It's not that much.
Wakefield School is, I think, $50,000, $80,000, that's not.
Combined,
Oh, well,
you know.
but we can't.
I don't think
We're
it's
into
that-
the legality of
Yeah,
that
that's-
again,
Yes.
Ben.
Okay, but what's the point of keeping it?
That's
Why not take, of the
We
$50,000 that's in that fund, why not take a couple of $1,000s, $5,000, and find a better use for the other $45,000?
We're not allowed.
Yeah.
The lawyer said that we're
Well,
restricted.
we're not allowed. It's, who says it's not allowed?
The attorney for the town has looked at the literature of the way the trust was set up.
Trusts are abandoned all the time.
Right, but he said,
If you have to go to probate court, there's a whole process.
what did he say, Terry? We
Right,
either
Terry?
have to offer it back to the family.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to find an alternate, which would be
Exactly.
another scholarship or some kind of fund like that, or give the money back.
I think
Right.
this discussion has been ongoing. This isn't new,
And
right?
I think it's
Yes.
gonna continue, they as in the town, or the town council, they don't officially know what they're going to do with that property yet, it's up in the air, it's.
Well, that's one piece of property.
Yeah.
but
No,
I
thought we were
think,
talking
I
about
think
that
it's
one.
not the purview of this committee
It's
to
not.
have any
Say
say
about
about
that.
what's going
This is
on.
money
Our,
out of
our,
funds.
our, you know, we are trustees of these funds
Of the
to make
money.
sure they're
Yeah.
invested properly. Where they're allocated into what kind of instruments is not for us to,
And it's no more work to add those on from the point of view of what we
No.
do. It's
No.
more work for you trying to.
But even
Spend
these,
time-
These funds, when donated to the town, I'm speaking in my audit term now, in my
Yeah.
finance side of it.
Yeah.
These are permanent funds. They are not to be ever wiped out. That's why we're only using the income earned. We even if that school is not there, they were donated to the town as a permanent fund. It is not to be ever wiped out. Maybe we can use it for some other means, but even if it was used for other means, I believe we'd still be locked into just using the income. Those funds are not to be just wiped out in that sense.
Right.
Used towards a purchase.
But technically, it's total return.
Yeah,
We
they
were
donated
income
to the
only.
town
Now
as
it's
a
total
permanent-
return on the fund. So we get to spend some of the growth.
Yes.
But you can't invade the principle beyond the 5% max that we're authorized to do. That
Right.
Priscilla went into Superior Court. They changed the rule, income only, to total return. They capped it at 5%. The town actually makes the decision, and we're only spending like 3 or 3.5.
Right.
So we could spend another
Yes.
1.5, but that's it.
Yes.
So who makes
Otherwise,
the
that would
decision
be
to
give the
spend
money
it?
back.
Well, the guild gets to take up to
Forget the
5%.
guild.
That's the, but
Forget-
that's,
Forget the
that's
guild.
the answer
That's
to
the
your
bulk of the
question.
money.
Yeah, that's 90% about.
yeah. The rest is deferred to the trust, so we have to go through Mike to go through court to change any of the requirements or stipulations written within the trust. And to Terry's point, which Mike has already said once or twice to us, if that comes up to court, court is gonna say, or can say, return the funds to the family if you're not gonna use it for the intended purpose.
Could say, might say,
Correct.
but could not, maybe says,
Yeah, I don't
do what you
know.
want with it.
I don't know.
But I
Yeah.
think even if they say do what you want with it, again, it's a permanent fund. We'd still, if they used it for another means, say they put it towards the high school project.
They could only draw 5%.
Yes, yes.
All right, so
Yeah, they
all of
could.
the- all of the dividends, all of the interest goes into the general account.
No, No.
Okay,
They're
some of
separate
it's-
and
some of
separate.
it stays.
They are their own funds. They are not supporting the general fund.
Right.
Portion we can use up to 5%. Like the stepping stone example, that's 3.5% goes into the general fund to fund that program, but only
But it has a program to
yes,
fund.
yes.
There are monies, only a
They're just
couple
sitting
hundred,
there.
only a
Yes.
few $100,000 that
Yeah,
don't have
no, there's
anything
one
to
program that one of the funds is for the can be used for the high school, and I think they have drawn
Yeah.
a few times.
fund. One of them has got a need for a teacher, paying a teacher's salary in Pettisquamsett or someplace.
Yes.
Yes, there's no school there.
There's no school there.
So, yeah, but the problem is, it's like the booger on the end of your finger. You can't shake it. We've got these funds. I mean, what you're going to end up doing, is probably pay it to the general treasurer.
Yeah.
Let her just sheet to the state, and
Yeah.
then because that particular fund, find the current family of the person who set that up. It's probably 6, 7 generations ago. Who are they? How do you find them? The search to locate those people would be expensive. And so I think the town has made the decision. I'm not going to. It's peanuts. We're not going to bother with
spend
it.
the money to chase it, to end up losing it.
Yeah.
And also, the thing is that the town council wants the money for the school. So if they can do anything, that's probably what they're gonna try for, is to reassign that to the high school project, not for scholarships.
So the one for the Pettisquamsett, or whatever it is, fund,
Something like that. Yeah.
that can be used for the town, put towards the high school?
That's to be determined.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Right.
that's
Not up
And
to us.
no.
You
Yeah.
might get a couple of
Not
doors
up to
for
us.
the building
Yeah.
with the money.
yeah.
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 That's about it.
If the town council tells Mike, who is our town's,
So that conversation is not for this committee,
no.
but for the town council,
For the town
Yes.
council.
So Brian would have to,
or the school committee.
Right.
no,
Council.
town council, you would have to present it
Yes.
on our behalf,
Yes.
saying we're asking for consideration for this or that. Then they're gonna call Mike, and then Mike is gonna opine on that,
Yes.
and we're gonna be back to where we are now.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause we've
Mike's
done
going.
this 3 times?
He's going to say. Already
I
answered.
think we've done it twice since I've been here.
Yeah, I
and
think it's
that's
been
He's
at least
already
3.
said.
Yeah.
Hands off,
Yeah.
yeah. Mike has said, no, he's not taking it on because.
Stop asking the question.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're gonna lose the money and get nothing.
Yeah.
So that's, we've done this at least 3 times that I know of. How many times that you know of?
It didn't come up early on in my time here.
Yeah.
It's only come up in the last 15
Well, and it
years or
wasn't
so.
the guy from North Kingston really started all that. The one that ran for office that didn't, that,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
That's-
Yes.
He's in Woonsocket now. I saw something. on him.
Yeah. He,
Let me ask you a
that was the only reason he got on the committee was
Was
to try to get rid of that money when he figured he
Exactly.
couldn't.
We can make recommendations.
Yes,
Can we recommend how to turn some of these funds to do other things?
No.
We can't do that.
that's not our job.
That's not
No.
our job.
We manage the money that.
We can we recommend? It's not our job to do it. It would have to be approved.
It's really outside the scope of this committee.
Yes.
Our committee is responsible for checking the checker.
Yeah.
We pick the fund guy that we think is in the town's best interest.
Yep.
And we hold them accountable by pushing back, by asking questions, by making them tell us that they are competent and that they have our best interests at heart at the lowest price possible. So we're watching them. This committee used to manage the money. I think about it all the time. I think about Elaine and I probably being able to do a better job. You know, but then you got conflicts of interest, so we'd probably have to come off the committee if we were managing the money. So, you know, so they jobbed it out years ago, and it went to Bank America until they fired us because we weren't important enough. And then we jumped, did we go to Webster directly from Bank America?
Yeah, we went to Webster, and it's been Webster
And
since.
it's been Webster
Bank of
since.
America.
So we don't go out to bid every 2 years because it's a hellacious job.
I know.
We know that we're paying because we're industry here.
Well, and we assessed the fees
We
a few
know
years
that
ago.
we're paying, but we still
For
hold
the
them to the.
bookkeeping, they do get a fair price.
Yes.
But they're at
And their fees are very
0.5.
low. I mean, their
0.5
fees are
is
very low.
nothing.
Yeah.
And then there's a few internal operating expenses which we held their feet to the fire on those.
There's no question that the committee has done a good job, and you ladies have done a spectacular job managing the managers. That's not my point.
I know you want access to the money.
I don't want access to the money.
You want to write more scholarships. I do too.
Why not?
I agree. I agree.
Doesn't the Attorney General have to sign off before you can start the process?
So if it was,
They get involved. They have people who watch funds like this and how
Right.
you deal
Yeah.
with it.
So they would kind of have an inclination as to whether it's a go-ahead or it's dead in the water.
Well,
kind of
Mike would
thing.
take it to them, right?
Yeah, they're not going to do it for us. We'd have to do it
Well,
and,
Mike has
and
put his hands up.
clear
at
it
least
through
3
them.
times.
It would be council action directing Mike.
Yep.
And, yeah, and they haven't.
Is he the probate judge?
No.
Mike
No.
is the town
Our
solicitor.
town solicitor. Doesn't, what does
Jim
Howe
Howe is the
do?
judge.
Yeah, Howe, yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 judges now. I always
Yeah.
confuse them between
Yeah.
municipal and.
But Mike is the one that we take our troubles to via the town
Right.
council.
But this is really a probate matter.
No.
No,
Not at that.
It's a trust. Trusts don't go to probate. It's a superior court matter. You can't. The probate court has no jurisdiction over trusts.
yes, I
Right.
remember that from the letter you distributed at
Right.
one point.
It's superior court.
and we really have pushed up exactly what you're saying 3 times that I know of, maybe more, because I'm pulling it from memory and I've been here 10 years. 3 times that I know of, we have asked the same questions. Carol Vetter, the guy from North Kingstown, me, whoever else. And we keep getting pushed back down from Mike.
We actually went to the we had a meeting. The council called us in and
That's
wanted
right.
to. Well, they called all
Yeah.
committees in, and this committee went to the council, and the council said, "What do you do?" And that's when it got a lot of air,
Yep.
and that's when the guy from North Kingstown
Yeah.
got on the committee to try to spend the money.
Well, and then when he left the committee, he wrote a letter to the town council, kind of bitching that, like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
we're holding up the money
That's
and that the money should be spent and that we all suck.
Yes.
Not just us, but the town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the long and short of it.
Fees were too high.
These are my 2-sentence response to what he said. Okay? And so he just, like, you know, threw the dart and then ran away.
Yes.
And so the council was all like, whoa, you know, these people are out of control. What's going on? So then they did a due diligence against all committees, of which we were held to the fire as well.
Yeah.
We did our homework, our due diligence. We went in, we told them what was going on. They were thrilled. They thought they could grab the money because that guy said they could. And then Mike spanked all the town council people and said, stand down. So you're, again, the guy with the dart, which I get, because I was the girl with the dart when I got here, till I get slapped down.
And there was a question brought up. I don't know, within the last year. I'm not sure. Within the last year,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of
Discussion on the Wakefields.
Yes, that with small fund. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's a small.
But we want it, right?
Right, but even that. So now it's ours again. It's the town building. It's been turned over from the school department to the town. There's been a lot of vandalism there. Maintaining the playground. Can we use any of these? It's for. But the funds, that's when Mike came down again, it was for the Wakefield School, not that location.
Not the Nancy Brown playground.
For the Wakefield
Right.
School, it's no longer a school, so we could, because we have heating bills there now, could we use it, and, you know,
Yeah.
could we use up to 5% for these things, but it's not a school any longer, so it's not, it was
yeah.
deemed that we could not use that.
Yeah. And we can't even debunk it and just
Yeah.
take the money and stick it in the general fund.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
now
these
a town,
trusts-
it's now a town facility, not a school.
Yeah,
So
and
it's-
these trusts are very explicit, and it's very difficult to, I mean, that's why they write trusts, so people can't mess with them.
Even the scholarships.
Funds go back to the
That is
1600s, guys.
1600s.
That is exactly right. Some guy long time ago had his lawyer write up this
And said,
and
it's
said, "Here's what I want
infallible."
to happen,"
Yep.
and it's hard to
Yeah.
unring
And if
it.
you don't want it to happen, and you're not gonna do what the trust intended for it to be done,
give back
then
the
you
money.
have to give back the money, because you didn't do what they told
All
you
right,
to do.
can we move on?
Yeah.
No. I
Okay.
think we should start from 1906 forward.
Oh, you go earlier.
Yeah, so if you come up with a good idea, I think we're all receptive to it, but I think.
I asked the same question
Yeah.
and
She
I'm
did too, she
silent.
was the same,
Yeah.
the same. We all came in with delusions
Why?
of grandeur.
Well, we know why now, so. All right, other items, anybody?
No.
Sir?
No.
We approved the minutes already.
Yes, we
We
did.
approved the minutes.
But the
There are
next meeting.
the portfolio is discussed. Is there any old business? We did the next meeting. Is there a motion?
Not yet. I got one thing to follow up to Ben's. He was like, go in. Is it possible that we could formulate a policy from this committee about the use of the trust so we don't have to reinvent this every time somebody new
That's good.
comes
Or at
in?
least a statement. or
Yeah,
something.
Let's come up with something so Ben reads it and goes, oh shit, okay, it's been asked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
our energy, our
Yes.
focus, our going to the town call, going after
No,
Mike.
it's
Maybe
a-
we should formulate
I mean,
something.
I would assume by the next election, say we have somebody new on the town council.
I
Let's
know.
use that money, or a new
I
member
think
here.
that's a really-
Exactly.
I
And
think
every
so.
one of you
Yeah.
that's been
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you.
So,
Let's
yeah, I
formulate
think that's
something.
a really
Well,
good
we need,
idea.
do you have the correspondence from Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
If you,
think I
could
have
you
that
send,
somewhere.
do you have it?
Well,
I've got
but
it
he
someplace,
has it.
but
Yeah.
if you could send it out,
Yes.
and then, so we'll put that on the agenda to come back with, oh,
Look at you.
Yeah, and I think if we say, as
still
of this
send it
date,
out?
Yeah.
school funds committee has researched,
Yep.
this is the final response from
Yep.
the town solicitor, the town council,
Yep.
that, hands off
Yeah.
or return it.
Yeah.
I've
I
got
may
that
need to get
somewhere, but
approved by the town
I gotta make a
council.
copy
I
of
don't-
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
becomes an official
Oh yeah.
statement?
No,
Yeah.
it might even be an internal, because again.
Yeah,
this
I
isn't
don't
really-
know. I don't
it's
know
not
the
our
dynamics
purview.
of that.
It would
but
be prudent
it would
to
be
do
helpful for this committee if,
Yes.
like, when I first
Yeah, what do
joined,
you
you
think?
gave me a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
You could
Yeah.
give the next person
Yeah.
that too.
Because we could go, oh, by the way, don't ask, because we already did.
Right.
Could I get a
Yeah,
copy?
actually, I'll
Make a copy.
I'm just thinking that might be a big time saver for the
Yeah.
years after we're gone,
Yeah.
Are we going?
We're all going, Bill. We're all going.
All right, are we adjourning?
I think so. What do you think?
Is there a motion?
Yes.
Make a
Second.
motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Go slowly, I'm
Second.
gonna make copies.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Sorry.
10,
Slow to the
But
12.
it's a very good discussion, and I appreciate you
Yes.
bringing it up. Because really, what is it about? It's disgusting when we're sitting on 26 million and we throw out $1,000 for a kid. I mean, wouldn't it be great to be able to do 10 scholarships or more meaningful scholarships?
I mean, when I saw last year's, something at $250.
I was like, what's the point? I didn't even buy a book.
You can't even go to the bookstores.
Yeah, you can't.
The entrance is probably $250 to get in the bookstore these days.
Right, and I'm sure we could come up with something, but then how do you put it into action is the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong?
Well, I'm trying to turn that off because we're still recording, but I'm not sure how to do it.
Oh.
Oh, great. I'm recorded with my potty
Yeah,
mouth.
that's why I was-
Wonderful, thanks. Didn't you kick me?
It's not going anywhere.
Kick me hard enough.
It's not going to the town council.
Yeah, I have a tendency to paraphrase in smaller words that people understand.
Brian, how do you turn this thing off?
Oh, right.
Thanks, Bri. Throw me under the bus.
Immortalized.
Throw